Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. One that not only supports you and your family financially, but one that gives you the freedom to live the life of your dreams. I'm taking the many lessons learnt over the last 2 decades of running my own business and working with hundreds of clients to bring you what's working now conversations. I'm pulling back the curtain to bring you real stories from real people, including myself. We're going to talk about everything from how to get clarity on your vision, creating systems so you can automate and delegate, how to hire a kick-ass team that creates raving, returning and referring clients. We're even going to talk about how to kick those limiting beliefs to the curb so that you can flourish in your business. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, an Indigenous mama of 3, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. If you're ready to scale your business but you're not sure where to start, you can take my free 2-minute quiz to uncover the secret strengths of your agency owner personality type. You'll discover how you can use your strengths to scale and streamline your business without compromising you. Head to the show notes for the link, sandrajulian.co/quiz. Hey friend, welcome along. This is episode 83 of Business Your Way. Today, I want to talk you through how to structure your proposals to win more clients. Because as service providers, your proposal is your invitation for your prospective clients to come and work with you. And having a clear and effective proposal structure is crucial for us service providers who want to win more new business. Because there are a few things that a well-structured proposal does. The first is it helps you to establish your credibility and professionalism right from the get-go, which is an important trust-building element for your potential clients. You want to be able to continue to build that level of trust with them, and your proposal should do that for you from the get-go. Second, a clear proposal structure makes it easy for clients to understand what you're offering and why it's valuable, which is the important piece, because we want to increase their engagement and interest in working with you. So we need to have that really understood from the get-go, what you are offering and why it's valuable. And finally, a well-structured proposal can help you to communicate your value proposition more effectively by highlighting your unique strengths and your differentiators in a way that resonates with that potential client and their needs, their goals, their wants, and their desires. So by having a strong proposal structure, this is essential if you want to stand out from your competition. And then when you stand out from your competition, you will win more business. Because when you have a well-structured proposal, you can increase your success rate from less than 40%, which is sadly the average, to over 70%, which is something that I've personally done in my event agency. So I want to take you on this journey and this week actually give you the key ingredients that needs to go into a well-structured proposal. So if you're ready, buckle in, let's get going. So why does the structure of your proposal matter? Well, because a well-structured proposal helps your potential client understand what they're getting from you and why it's worth paying for. When your proposal has a clear structure, it helps you to communicate your value proposition to the client in a way that it is easy for them to read and understand. And that is really important. You want to make your proposal easily digestible. You want to break down the deliverables and the timeline in your proposal, which is helping set the expectations about working with you. You're not making your potential client read between the lines and then guess what they're getting from you. And you don't want to presume that they know what's included and how long it will take. Because those are two questions that most people have. What's included, so they can assess your value against your price, and how long will it take? If they want it in 6 weeks and you take 13 weeks, then there's a mismatch. So they want to be clear about those two things, and your proposal should deliver that and shouldn't leave them guessing. A well-structured proposal helps your client to see your proposed solution and how that will address their specific needs, their pain points, their goals, their desires. And this is the piece that I see overlooked in proposals. I don't know whether you may have downloaded a proposal from the internet or maybe used one of Canva's free proposals, but the thing that all of those proposals do is they talk about you first. They put your credentials and your knowledge and everything about your company in the first few pages of the proposal. And that's not what the client wants. The client wants to know that your solution addresses their needs and their pain points. So if that was all you did to change your proposal, then that's going to make a huge difference. Because a poorly structured proposal, it leaves your prospective clients confused and unsure about what they're actually getting. It lacks clarity on deliverables, leading to disagreements much later down the line if you were lucky enough to get the business in the first place. A really poorly structured proposal is difficult to follow, and the proposal's message is unorganized, and it leaves that person having to flip through multiple pages just to get what they need. And a really poorly structured proposal has no clear call to action, which makes it unclear of what they should do next. So why does the structure of your proposal matter? Well, simply because a well-structured proposal is crucial if you want to win new business, because it allows you to clearly communicate your value proposition, set the expectations, create a sense of credibility, and it should speak to the prospective client's specific needs, and it needs to be more about them and less about you. So this is what makes a well-structured proposal win more clients. It will get you more business. No one wants to read a poorly structured proposal. Those are the ones that get to the bottom of the pile, especially if your prospective client is looking at a few options. They've gone to market and they are looking at a few options. I mean, even if they have come to you directly and they haven't gone to anybody else, you still don't want to leave them second guessing, because when you work with them and you haven't outlined everything really clearly in your proposal, and there's the clarity on timeline and deliverable is missing in your proposal, that can lead to all kinds of drama once you begin working together. So let's move on to the key elements of this winning proposal structure. And there are 6 that you need to include in your proposals. And these 6 key elements are: 1, you need to identify the pain point. 2, you need to offer a tailored solution. 3, you need to lay out a clear plan of how you're going to deliver that solution that you outlined in the previous step. 4, you need to deliver a really transparent price that supports your solution and your plan. 5 is where you get to talk about you and establish your credibility. And then element number 6 is the clear call to action. And I've put all of these 6 elements into a PDF, into a free guide to help you improve your proposals. So if you want to get your hands on this free guide where I expand on each of these 6 key elements, you can head over to sandrajulian.co/proposal blueprint. I wanted to jump in here really quickly and ask you for a big favor. If you are loving this podcast and this episode, I would be grateful if you could share it with a friend. Or even better yet, jump over onto Instagram and share it on your stories. Don't forget to tag me, I'm sandrajulian.co. That really is the best way for others to find out about this podcast, and I thank you in advance. Alrighty, back to the episode. And today I also want to give you some tips for creating this winning proposal. And really, changing up what you do. So it doesn't matter whether you are an accounting firm and you're looking to take on a new client, whether that's a retainer client and you're doing monthly work for them, or whether it's an annual client and you're doing annual reporting, or whether you are a design house and you are looking to rebrand a client, or if you are a copywriter and looking to do a piece of copy for a client or ongoing content for a client. It doesn't really matter what type of service business that you have. It's highly likely that your proposal is going to be your main tool to invite people to work with you. And at the moment, if you are using quotes, if you're just sending price quotes out to people and saying, here's what it's going to cost to work with me, highly likely that they are just choosing the cheapest price, because by sending a quote, which is usually just a itemized list of prices, you've given them nothing else to choose your service. You're not expanding on why you are the best person for the job. All you're providing them is price, and then you're just playing the price game. And then if you want to win more business, you have to discount your price in order to win the business. And then your profit margins suffer, and it's a snowball effect. So if you want to really win more valuable business and start to win your business based on value, not on price, then these are a few tips that I want to give you about presenting your proposals. So 1, present your proposal in the exact order that I've given you today in those 6 elements. Again, you can go and get that Irresistible Proposal Blueprint at sandrajulian.co/proposal blueprint. And I don't know if you noticed, but in that blueprint, section 5 was where we got to talk about you. So instead of talking about you in the first page or the first 2 pages, you don't actually get to talk about you until section 5. The other 4 sections is all about the client, what their problem is, what your solution is, how are you going to deliver that, and what's the plan. So you don't get to talk about you until section 5, and that is immediately before the call to action. And this is super intentional because you're making the proposal about them and about helping them with their pain point or the desired outcome that they are looking for. You want to be sure that your proposal focuses on helping them. Tip number 2, include that clear call to action. You need to clearly outline what you want your prospect to do. So this might be that you want them to sign the contract. You might want them to set up a call to, go through the proposal. You might want them to provide any feedback, or do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, then do this. Whatever that next step is, then give them that. And that next step will depend on what your sales process is. But don't assume that that potential client knows what to do next. When you don't give them a clear call to action, your proposal is just going to sit unopened or half read on their desk. Or they may have read it all and then gone, I'll get back to that later. There's no call to action. So be sure that that is really clear in your proposal. Tip number 3, make sure your proposal is easy to read and visually appealing, because this increases the engagement with your proposal. If your proposal is interesting and you're using visual tools to help them keep their eye flowing down the page, then engagement and reading your proposal to the end is going to be increased. So you might want to use some really good headings, you might want to use some bullet points and maybe some images to break up the text. And you might want to use images to clearly demonstrate a visual hierarchy or, step 1, step 2, step 3. Make your proposals visually interesting. Don't be boring. And then check your proposal to make sure that it's been written with clear and concise language. It's visually appealing and it's well structured. These 3 elements make your proposal more engaging for your potential client, and it will help you stand out from the crowd. This is where you really want to blow their socks off. You really want to wow them. And I think this is where I see, most service providers struggle because they don't really understand the power of a proposal. They think the proposal is just for communicating the cost for the client to sign off on. But really, your proposal is the invitation for that person or that company to come and work with you. So when you think about it as an invitation to work with you rather than a proposal to deliver your price, it changes the way that you think about it, the way that you write it, the way that you present it. It changes everything about your proposal. And then once you do some work on getting your proposal really good, and this is going to take some time, so you're not going to see an impact with your first proposal or your second proposal. This is going to take some time to refine and tweak and improve. I think you should give yourself at least a 90-day runway to change the structure of your proposal and then evaluate it every 90 days thereafter. And then keep tweaking it and keep seeing what those prospects are responding to, what they're not responding to, what's resonating, what's not resonating, and then continue to tweak. Is it the language? Is it the way that you have visually presented it? These things will start to present themselves and you'll get feedback on your proposals. But the number one is to really change your mindset around the way that your proposal is structured and how you're using them in your business. Alrighty, a few things that I want you to remember from this episode is having a clear and effective structure is crucial for you if you want to win more new business. By organizing your proposal in a logical and easy to follow way, you can clearly communicate your value to your prospects and increase the likelihood of winning their business. Remember to focus on the client's needs and their pain points or their desires. Clearly outline your deliverables and your pricing, and use visual aids to support your messaging in your proposal. By following these tips and creating a proposal that is well structured, that works for you and your clients, you can set yourself apart from the competition. And when you set yourself apart, you win more business. So don't underestimate the power of a well-structured proposal and the impact that it can have on your bottom line. Because when you win more business, you actually don't need more leads. To begin with anyway, you don't need more leads in the business. You just need to win more of those leads and convert them into paying clients. And when you do this, you get to take back more of your time and put money in the bank. So if you think about it, if you are winning less than 30% of your proposals at the moment, what if you just increase that percentage by another 10, 15%? You're not actually spending any more time preparing proposals. You've not got any more leads than you already have coming in. You're just improving your proposal to win more business. So when you win more business, you can take back more of your time and put more money in your bank. So this is the power of having a really well-structured proposal, is that you can save yourself time and not spend endless amounts of time writing proposal after proposal after proposal, and then you have to go and hunt down more leads because you need more proposals, because your percentage of conversion, or the amount of business that you're winning from all of that work, is less than 40%. And sadly, that's the average. So I want to help you increase your success rate with your proposals from less than 40% to over 70%. And then you can have more time and put more money in your bank and grow your business. When you've got that down packed, then you can turn on the leads tap. Then more leads, more proposals, but because you're winning more of those proposals, they're not such a time-sucking part of your business. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I would really appreciate you sharing this over on social media, whether you are taking a photograph of where you're listening to this in your podcast player, sharing it on your stories on Instagram, or maybe on your stories in Facebook. I'm not on TikTok, but you could definitely share it on TikTok. And then, tag me. I'm sandrajulian.co on Facebook and on Instagram, and my website is sandrajulian.co. But don't forget, if you want a copy of my free Irresistible Proposal Blueprint, you can head on over to sandrajulian.co/proposal blueprint. Before you go today, I want to thank you for being here and listening all the way to the end. All the links to this week's episode can be found in the show notes, and you can read a full blog of the episode at sandrajulian.co/podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get new episodes as soon as they're released. If you'd like to reach out to me and chat about anything on today's episode or any of the previous episodes on the podcast, then I've got a link in the show notes so you can leave me a voice message or a video message. I really do look forward to hearing from you. Alrighty, have a productive week, and I will talk to you again real soon.